Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing awesome. I just wanted to jump in here this Sunday. I had some questions coming up. As you know, that we've got the doors open to the Affluence Blueprint right there. We've got the doors, but at the end of the day tomorrow. So we need to dial in. Here's what I want to make sure we do is I want to make sure that I answer whatever questions you might have, to make sure that you make an informed decision. Here's the thing. My desire, those of you that know me know that my mission is really to provide the tools, the tactics, the strategies, the ones that actually work for entrepreneurs, especially to find financial liberation and freedom through their business. Too often what ends up happening is that as business owners or as individuals, we decide to start a business because we think that the business is going to give us freedom. And we go in and we figure, all right, I'm going to get freedom. I'm going to get some stuff. I'm going to be able to control my time. I'm going to make some money. I'm going to have an impact. I'm going to do all these things, get a chance to spend more time with the family, going to be able to vacation and all that stuff. And we get into business and all of a sudden we find ourselves running on a treadmill. So instead of working for someone else, we're now working in a situation where we're working for ourselves. We're working for our customers and we're working for our employees. And so one of the things we need to realize is that over time, we got to run the business a different way. Here's what I know. Your business does not give you freedom. It just doesn't. Your business, that's not, it may be part of the journey to freedom, but the reality is the business doesn't give you freedom. What it gives you, if run right, is cash flow. But there's a lot of businesses that are running with cash flow. The cash is coming in the door. They're doing their launches. Then they're putting the money out the door and they're paying their teams and they got expensive contractors and they're not watching their money and they're not watching their profits and they're not maximizing their profits. They're not maximizing the cash flow. And guess what? By the end of the day, they actually don't have a whole lot of cash flow. And without that cash flow, we can't build the one thing that truly will give you freedom. The one thing that truly will give you freedom. That's wealth. Strategic wealth built through an optimized cash flow from your business is what's going to give you the freedom. It's not the business itself. And so we need to run it right. We need to do it right. We need to build it right in the sense to make that. So this is why the Affluence Blueprint, one of the three pillars of the Affluence Blueprint are all about how do we generate and scale our income and our cash flows? How do we go from a drip to a flood of cash flow? But knowing that the income isn't enough, the second pillar is all about accumulate. How do we convert that income, that cash flow, into assets, into wealth, into something that's going to carry us, that's going to be able to support us? Here's the other thing I know. For us to truly be rich, for us to truly be affluent, we need to separate. We need to separate the inputs, the effort that we put in, from the outputs, the rewards we get out. See, too often we have a one-to-one relationship. If I want to make money, I've got to continue to run on that treadmill. But those that are truly rich, that have an affluent life, a life that is a richer lifestyle, they don't. They've separated the inputs from the outputs. They also have had the ability to take back control of their time. Hopefully this is making sense. And for anyone that's jumping on, say, hey, let me know you're there and all that. But the fact is that if you can't control your time, if you don't have the ability to dictate what it is you do during the day, how you do it during the day, how much you do it during the day, and how much of it you do during the year and where you want to do it, you no longer control your time. It doesn't matter whether you make $100, $1,000, $1 million, $10 million. If you can't control your time, I got to tell you, you're living in poverty because you're beholden to whatever else is controlling your time. Hopefully that makes sense. The idea here is this. Let's make sure that you get to control your time, that you truly build a richer lifestyle, that you truly have a deeper impact, and you have full and complete freedom. That's where we want to go with this. So a couple things. I know that there's some questions that have come in. I want to throw some things out there. I want to introduce you and let you hear from a couple of my friends that I've worked with over the years. And as I said, Affluence Blueprint, the doors are open. This is the first time I've opened the doors to the public, to a broader base of folks ever. And so all the techniques, all the principles that I teach, the processes, principles, the tactics, the strategies, and everything are things that I've used for my one-on-one high-level clients in the past. But given the situation that we're in, first off, the combination of my cancer journey and the realization of how important it is for people to have that affluent lifestyle so they have financial liberation, and then pair that with the pandemic and the fact that so many people got hit hard. So many people were so overly dependent on one avenue of income, or so overly dependent on a job, or so overly dependent on a single source within their business that I felt compelled to bring this out. So this is why it's being offered for the first time this way. So you have access to it and you have access to me in it to make that happen. It's about giving you the tools to make that happen. So what I want to do is, first off, I want to actually introduce you to a couple of folks that have been in the game and have worked with me. In fact, the first one's a dear friend, and let me just throw her up on the screen. Let's let you hear directly from her.
What is up, everyone? My name is Kate Draymond. I'm a conversion copywriter and messaging expert. And oh my goodness, working with Mel has completely changed my life, specifically when it comes to my finances and actually building real wealth. So I don't know about you, but when I became an entrepreneur and I started really growing and scaling my business, the one piece that no one had ever really taught me was the financial side of my business. And not just that, right? Like not just bringing in the money, not just allocating profit and loss, but looking at building real wealth, looking at building a machine that allows me to have a get to life instead of a have to life, right? Getting to work, getting to plug in, getting to unplug, all of those different areas that come with building solid wealth. I didn't really understand it, but after working with Mel and going through his systems that he teaches inside the Affluence Blueprint, I feel so confident in not just managing my money, but making it actually work for me, right? Making sure that I'm growing my wealth and I'm leaving an actual legacy for my future family, for the future of my business, for the future of my life and my family's life. I feel so much better diving into my finances, knowing where everything's going, and being prepared for things that typically I wasn't prepared for. I cannot recommend Mel and his systems and strategies enough. If you're someone who really wants the freedom that owning your own business can bring, this is a key piece of that. I recommend you work with Mel immediately in any way you can.
Hey, so thank you, Kate. So that was Kate Dramus. Here, she said a couple of things I want to highlight here. Is that the first thing she mentioned was getting her money to work for her. So here's the deal. The job of the Affluence Blueprint, the job of what we're trying to do is to get your money to work harder for you than you did for it. So let me say that again. I want your money to work harder for you than you did for it. Because if we don't do that, then you're going to continually work hard for the money, and the money is going to sit there. It's like bringing on a whole bunch of people and they're just sitting on the couch. They're just couch potatoes. We don't want couch potatoes. Hey, Kimberly, it's great to have you here. We want people that are going to go out and work, and your money, when you do it right, they become your employees. They become your foot soldiers. They become the army of earners that go out there in the world to give you additional cash flow. That continue to do that. Here's the cool thing about it. Your money, when done right, unlike real employees or workers, it works 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day for you. So one of the first things that she said in there was the importance of you making sure that your money works harder for you than you did for it. The second thing she brought up was this idea of legacy, is that she's building something for her family and her future family. What I'm looking to do, what I'm trying to give you here is the opportunity to make sure that you make a financially generation, well, let's say it this way, generational shift financially for everyone. In other words, here's what we've done. I built a machine. I want to teach you how to build the machine, because I built the machine. God forbid something happens to me. The machine supports my wife, but she's not draining the machine. She's not taking the machine apart. See, too often in our world, what we're taught is this save, spend, and pray mentality. It's a save, spend, and pray mentality. It doesn't work. They tell you save, 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 save until you are getting ready to retire. In fact, let's do this. I'm gonna draw this out for you so you can see it, because here's what they say. We're making money. These are our money making years. Okay. This is our money making years. This is where we're making money. And what they do is they say save, put it in a 401k, okay, put it in ETFs, whatever it is. They're telling you to save, 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 save. And then you get to this date here. This date is called retirement. Now, I have a whole nother attitude about retirement, whether retirement's really retirement or should be, but that's a whole nother discussion for another day. But here's what they then tell you to do. They say, okay, you've now retired. And the way this works, now there's a study that's out there. There's been a study out there that 48% of the people, when they retire, they have to do one of two things. They say, I'm either going to continue to work to supplement my lifestyle, or I'm going to have to reduce my lifestyle. So if I'm used to earning up here, I start living down here. And here's what happens. So now they say you retire, and you turn around and you start to take money out of retirement, and you're going to live on that money. So now this is the savings part. Now we spend. And so this is the spend part. Okay. This is how they teach us. This is how they've groomed us. Here's the save. Here's the spend. Where does the pray come in? Well, here's where the pray comes in. We pray that our life, we pray that our life doesn't outlast our money. See, because we don't know how long we're going to be here. And so say you decide that you're going to retire at 65 or 60 or whatever the date is, and you have X dollars in the bank account and start spending those dollars down. You don't know if you're going to last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, another 60 years. Hopefully it's a long time. And with all the medical advances, it gets longer and longer. So what ends up happening is we don't truly know, because what we're doing is we're using a save, spend, pray mentality to our retirement and our financial freedom, our financial independence. It's wrong. It's wrong. It sets people up to be in a disastrous situation if they get it wrong. What I'm telling you to do, what I'm asking you to do, let me go back to here, is that what I'm asking you to do is to sit back and say, let's use this savings to build a big enough machine here that the machine itself will then start spitting out cash flow. So the machine never shrinks. The machine stays where it's at. It never shrinks. And so the idea behind this is exactly what I've done. It's exactly what my clients have done. It's exactly what I'm trying to teach you to do, is that how do we take the business, optimize the cash flow, use the cash flow to build another machine so you have multiple levels of income in a way that when you decide, you can separate your effort from your output, the rewards. So now you get paid even if you're not doing the work. And this is what allowed me to survive the pandemic, but allowed me to shut everything down during the cancer, all those things. This is the game that I want you to play. This is the strategy. That's what the Affluence Blueprint is about, is to allow you to do that and make that happen. Because like I said, God forbid something happens to me, that machine doesn't go anywhere. It moves to my wife, Stephanie. God forbid something happens to her, because she knows how to run it. She knows the principles. She knows the strategy. She knows the tactics. That machine moves to my son. He's already building his machine. They already have a 7-figure net worth at 30 and 27 years old and 3 homes. Okay. But that my machine moves to them. And then after them, the machine will go on to my granddaughter, who's due in August. All right. So the point is that we're not building something to spend it and erode it away. We're building something that is meant to last. So it becomes a generational shift in the financial trajectory of your family and your family tree. That's the game I want to play. That's the game I want for you. All right. So it becomes really important to start to figure out how to do that. So let me look at someone else. Let's bring someone else on real quickly. And if you have questions or something, throw them up there and let's make sure that I try to get them answered. If you happen to be in one of my groups, do me a favor. Put your name in, because I can't tell your name and I don't want to call you Facebook user. You deserve more respect than that. All right. So I'm going to introduce you to my friend Colin Boyd.
Hey, Colin Boyd here, founder of Self-From Stage Academy, international speaker and coach. And I wanted to take a moment to talk about the Affluence Blueprint, the strategies involved in that, and Mel Abraham. See, this is the biggest thing, is if you are a coach, a speaker, an expert, you have got a business that creates great cash flow, but not wealth. And one of the biggest problems, and I know this firsthand because I ran my business for 10 years with great cash flow, but not contributing to wealth. And it wasn't until I met Mel and started implementing his strategies that my wealth started to actually grow. And so if you're a coach, a speaker, an expert, this program should be essential to building not just your business, but your wealth creation strategies. Because this is the thing, you'll finish your business with your, however your journey goes in the next, maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 20 years, maybe it's 30 years. And if you don't build wealth creation strategies in, you'll finish and you'll actually have nothing to live off. And so whether you're at 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, a million and above, I don't care whatever the level you're at, you have to know and start building these wealth creation strategies as you build your business. And so there is nothing like this on the market. And I think this has been something that has been needed for such a long time. And what I love about the Affluence Blueprint is how specific it is to especially helping experts and thought leaders and content creators to build wealth into their life. And so I just really wanted to give a shout out because it's genuinely changed our life, and I know will continue to change our life and the trajectory of our wealth creation because we're actually doing it and building it in our life. So thanks so much, Mel. Appreciate you, buddy. And I'm excited about the Affluence Blueprint and what it's going to do in your life if you decide to enroll.
All right. So interesting. He said something there that I think I want to make sure that we're clear on. Most people, especially if we're building a bricks and mortar business, okay, like when I had the martial arts studio, although that had some personal nature to it too. But if I'm building a big manufacturer, I sit on boards of directors of companies. I mean, I've got one company that's been around since the 1800s, and we built it from 20 million to $250 million. That type of company has the ability to be sold, to be transferred. So you've got the ability to get a windfall and to get this lump sum. But most businesses, especially solopreneur types of businesses, service types of businesses, expert types of businesses, they're built on our personal brand. They're built on our knowledge, our wisdom, our personality, us as the forefront of the brand. They're not sellable. So what Colin was getting at was this concept that, look, you're fine. As long as you're running on that treadmill, you're fine. You'll make money, you'll make money, you'll make money. Question is, how long and how fast can you run on that treadmill? Because when you stop, it stops. Unless You use the business in a way that allows you to build something outside the business. There's something that we talk about and I teach in the Affluence Blueprint that's called the 5 incomes, because what ends up happening is we get so focused on one level of income, we forget these other 4 levels of income. And what I'm trying to get everyone to do is to be able to support their lifestyle out of 3 specific income categories. That way they have the flexibility, they have the latitude, they have the freedom, they bought their time back, they bought options, they bought choices, they bought the ability to do things the way they want, when they want, on their rules. Okay, so that's huge. That's huge, and that's the thing that I think we need to consider. See, I'm going to look for comments. Kimberly says, your training always over deliver. I just signed up for this program. It comes at a perfect time. And thank you for serving so authentically and generously and expertly. Kimberly, always a blessing to have you. And thank you so much. There's so much more to come. This is the chapter. This is the next phase of my journey. This is what I believe is the culmination of my 30 plus years in this space, or as an entrepreneur, as a CPA, as a financial mentor, a financial advisor. This is the culmination of everything. The building of the businesses, the building of the wealth, the creating an affluent lifestyle. This is what this is all about. I've been called to do it. And the wake-up call really was the cancer to say, this is what you're meant to do. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I see what it's done. I'm looking at my son and his wife at 27 and 30 expecting their first child and seeing the freedom that they had. The fact is that once they told us, so they announced that they were having a baby, our first grandchild, during the holidays. So, and then they just recently announced, well, it was the end of January, they announced that they were having a little girl. So I'm going to be a granddad to a daughter, which means one thing only, I am screwed, because I have no idea how I'm ever going to say no to that little princess. And that means that my wife is going to use her against me. I just know it. But I digress. Sorry. So as soon as they announced that they had there was going to be a little girl, they said to us, hey, would you watch our dog for a little while? And I said, sure. I love their dog. It's an Australian Shepherd. I love Lexi. Just amazing. So they said, how long do you need us to watch her for? And they looked at me and said, a month. I go, what? A month? I go, yeah. They said, we realize that once the baby's born in August, we won't be as flexible to traveling. And so if we're not as flexible with the traveling, then we want to travel now. So what we did is we rented an Airbnb in Maui for a month. And so we're going to leave tomorrow to Maui for a month. And we'll see you at the end of February. And that's what they did. But can you imagine what it's like to have that flexibility, that ability to buy your time back, that ability to control your time, to know that you have things set up in a way that you're creating cash flow, that you have wealth, you're living a richer life, you're having an impact, you're continuing things. That's what I want for you. That's the key to all of this. That's what the Affluence Blueprint is truly about. So Roberto, yeah, lots more shoe shopping in my future. Let me tell you, my friend, I am just glad that Jimmy Choo does not sell baby clothes. All right. So I'm in trouble. So let's look at one more friend. Let's bring one more friend up. Let's do this. I'm gonna bring in Allison Prince from Puerto Rico. Let's bring her in.
Watching another video from Mel Abraham, because he did a really good job teaching finances and clarifying what really works, because let's face it, there's a whole bunch of hogwash out there and people that make it super, super complicated. And the video that I just watched was the video where he talks about how people go out and make money, and that money becomes the seed. And most people will eat the seeds. Other people will plant the seeds, wait just a little bit longer, and then live off the harvest. And I thought that was such a great analogy on how simple finances and growing your wealth can be. And I really like how Mel is able to take something that seems so far out there or so foreign or so complex and simplifies it so much. In fact, he, during the whole COVID crisis, when we thought the whole world was stopping, I actually asked Mel to come in and talk to my group of amazing entrepreneurs who are starting, running, growing, building their online stores. And he talked about how a lot of times we get stuck in our emotions so much, and that can turn your dollars into pennies. And he helped us reframe things, and so that we were able to look at pennies and then turn them into dollars by taking out a lot of the emotion and just going based on facts and what money really does. It can grow. There are opportunities out there. We just need to get rid of some of the emotional baggage that we all kind of tend to attach with money. Anyway, Mel, you're amazing. And let's see, I met him, no, let's see, I think we met like 8 or 9 months ago. And I have seriously binge watched all of his stuff. It is so good. It is so good. So if you need help with your finances, if you need help just knowing what is true and where to even start to find land to plant your seeds, like turn into Mel. Listen to what he's got to say. It's worked for me. It's worked for my whole audience has just eaten up what he has said. Anyway, go binge watch his videos. It's awesome.
All right. Thank you, Allison. So here's the deal. She said a couple things I want to just highlight real quickly here, and this and that. As I said before, I highlight a few things. Affluence Blueprints open. Doors close tomorrow. So if you have questions, about it, do me a favor. I actually opened up some things in my calendar to allow you to set up a time. You can set up a time there, 15 minutes. We can answer your questions. My point is this. I'm not here to convince you about anything. Well, I am. What I'm here to convince you about is to have a bigger future. What I'm here to convince you about is that financial independence is within your grasp. What I'm here to convince you about is that it's up to you to take control of that financial destiny. And what I'm here to convince you is and help you understand is to make sure that you have all the information about your financial future so you make it a good decision. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you decide to be on with this. I don't want you on the fence. I want you to be able to know that you made a fully informed decision. Join me in the Affluence Blueprint or not, but I think you ought to join me, but that's it. So if you want to spend a little time and have time to chat, book a time in. You and me personally will have a conversation. So let's go back to what Allison said, because I think there's a couple things she said. One is, and I write them down as they go, is simple. Okay. Here's the thing. I believe, and I have no bias. I'm not a financial planner, a financial advisor in that sense. I am a mentor to those that are at one-on-one relationships with and the people that I serve. However, I think that the financial services industry has a secondary gain. In other words, they benefit from the fact that they can make things look complicated to those that aren't educated or indoctrinated into this financial service area, whether it's investing, whether it's transactions, whether it's structure, all that stuff. It doesn't need to be complicated, and it's not. So the fact of the matter is that building wealth, building richness, building affluence is actually a simple thing when you understand the core principles, when you understand the processes, and you have the tactics and strategies that actually work. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, because there's a difference between simplicity and easy, but it's simple to do. Easy. Yeah, we got to work it. We got to be disciplined. We got to do some work. You got to run the miles, just like Jeremy and Cammie did, just like Allison is doing, just like all of my clients are doing. You do the work, but I'll give you the guidance to make that happen. So simple versus easy is huge. Second thing she mentioned was this idea of emotions. Here's what I know. When our emotions go up, especially when we're talking about financial decisions, when our emotions go up, and we make decisions from a high emotional state, our intellect goes down. Okay? Our intellect goes down. In other words, we don't make as smart decisions. Okay. And this is what happened. This is how I got caught in the Ponzi scheme. This is how it happened to me, because I got emotionally entrenched in it and I didn't recognize it. And too often we get caught and we make emotional financial decisions and they cost us more. So the key is to have the proper rules. Now I give the 8 rules of investing in the program. Give the rules of how we evaluate different funds and different investments. Give all that, so there is a process to follow. It strips the emotions out of it so we can make decisions that are personal based, rules based decisions. And now we don't get caught into the emotions to make that happen. Then she talked about the whole idea of learning the principles, and I said that just earlier. So when we talk about principles are universal, fundamental truths. And when we talk about fundamental truths, those are they can't be altered. They exist no matter what. Also, principles, another definition for principles is a system of behavior. A system of behavior. Think about that. I truly believe that building wealth, no one out there in the world, they do not have a money problem. Some might, but very few do. They don't have a money problem. They have a money problem, but it's caused by a behavior problem. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. They have a money problem caused by a behavior problem. And so what we need to do is shift the behaviors. Now, one of the things to do that is that we need to shift the thinking, to shift the behaviors, which changes the money problem. Hopefully you're following this. So the way we shift behaviors is to give principles, so you have a new system of behaviors to use to make sure that you're walking a different path. So that's really it for the Affluence Blueprint. It's me, you, training, tools, tactics, and me coaching you through the program. If you want to get more information on it, you can go here. To have that happen, go to jointabnow.com. It closes tomorrow night. Jointabnow.com. You can get more information there. If you want to have a conversation with me, a short conversation to answer your questions about the program, I'm not doing strategic planning or strategic work. I want to make sure that you are in the right place, making the right decision, fully informed. Then set up a fit chat with me. Go to melabraham.com/fit chat. Let's get on the calendar. Let's have a conversation. The most important thing is that we give you the tools to make sure that you get back on the helm of your ship, that you take control of your financial destiny, your financial trajectory, your financial future, because it's not just your life you're doing it for. It's those that you love, the people around you, and the generations beyond. All right. I truly believe that what we're talking about here is financial independence, financial liberations, living a richer life, having a deeper impact, having full and complete freedom. That's affluence. That's liberation. That is the affluent entrepreneur. And that's where I want to help you all go. And I'd love to have you on board with me. So do me a favor, go to one of those links. Let's have a conversation. Let's make this happen. And I look forward to seeing you in the program. Cheers. If you have any questions other than that, you can post them. I'll make sure I answer them. DM me. I'll make sure I answer them. I want to help. I want to be there as a guide for you. And I'll see you in the program. Go to jointabnow.com to get more information. Or if you need to set up a fit chat with me, go to the link, melabraham.com/fit chat, and let's have a chat. All right. Hope all's well. You have an incredible rest of your Sunday. Talk soon. Cheers. Bye.